This brief video will show the high-level functionality of Content360, the enterprise content management solution built on top of SharePoint. Content360 doesn't just link to SharePoint, but it is built from the ground up to turn SharePoint into an industrial-strength, scalable, and flexible enterprise content management solution. Content360 allows quick and easy retrieval of content stored in SharePoint, either by using the integration functionality, which allows users to retrieve SharePoint content directly from the screen of any line of business application, such as an ERP or financial system, or by using the targeted search module for quick retrieval of content. Content360 allows users to capture content into SharePoint via direct printing within a line of business application, via scanner or multifunction devices, and even through Microsoft Outlook. Finally, Content360 allows content to be routed and interacted upon using our full workflow interface, which takes the standard SharePoint interface to the next level and provides timers and notifications so nothing slips through the cracks. In this demonstration, we're going to show integration with a generic line of business application, but rest assured, Content360 integrations work with all common Windows, web, or even green screen line of business applications. We're going to start with demonstrating retrieval, how you can find content located in SharePoint through Content360. In the first example, we're going to go into our line of business application, and we're going to use the integration button to retrieve documents related to this purchase order. We have our purchase order number here, which is going to be the value in which we're going to use to retrieve the content. When I click the integration button, Content360 will go out into SharePoint and retrieve all of the documents that are related to that purchase order number. So we see we have a combination of purchase orders, vendor invoices, packing slips, and so on and so forth. To view the document, I just click the link next to the document that I'm selecting to view, and Content360 will display that in our document viewer. This document viewer is capable of viewing over 300 different document types natively inside of SharePoint. I have the ability to save, print, or email the document depending upon my security privileges. I can also go in and annotate the document. So I can add sticky notes, highlight information, or redact information as necessary. And while viewing related to content on a line of business application screen is one of the more common methods of document retrieval, Content360 also offers a targeted search functionality, which allows me to constrain the search or broaden my search for specific content located in SharePoint. In this example, we'll drop down and show how to retrieve vendor invoices. I do that by selecting the appropriate content type, clicking search, and this is a fairly unconstrained search, so we're going to see a lot of return values from all the AP vendor invoices inside of Content360. I have functionality in order to use full Boolean logic to constrain my search. So in this example, we'll just perform the same search, but we're going to constrain the values by vendors starting with the letter B in their name. Now when I go to search, you'll see far fewer values, and we're limited by only the vendor name starting with the letter B. Again, I could have searched based upon date ranges or greater than and less than values, dollar amounts, anything that I need to be able to find the content located inside of SharePoint. So now that we've shown how we retrieve content from Content360, let's take a look at how we're able to quickly and easily capture content into SharePoint by using the Content360 functionality. The first source of most content for any organization, and by content again we're talking about business documents, files, pictures, anything that's in a digital format. But the first major source of content for most businesses is your line of business application. Your ERP system when you're printing invoices, your student information system when you're printing report cards, your health insurance information system as you're printing statements. All of these applications generate a huge amount of information, and it's usually in the form of either an ASCII text file or a PDF file. Those files, upon print time, can be dumped into a monitored directory. This is a directory somewhere on the network where Content360 is looking for these types of files. Once Content360 sees these files in the directory, it will automatically grab them and index them by using our PDF reader. Additionally, other content such as faxes, multifunction devices, office files, and paper coming into the organization through a scanner can also be stored inside the monitor directory, but the indexing process will then have to be manually completed, or we can use advanced capture inside Content360. When an organization is capturing a high volume of documents that are originating in paper format, we may want to look at an advanced capture option for Content360. This includes things like OCR for grabbing machine printed characters, ICR for constrained handwriting, looking at OMR for boxes or check marks, checking to see if a document has been signed, and even extracting line item detail information. Using advanced capture can greatly reduce the amount of keystrokes required to capture content into SharePoint. Once we've captured content using either a scanner or imported a file, we need to perform the indexing process. This is where we tell Content360 exactly what this file is. Is it an invoice? Is it a purchase order? Is it a packing slip? It's also where we define what our index values are, what our column values are. So we can, at this point in time, go back and retrieve documents later based upon our index values. Now I could start going in and just typing this information, but obviously this is very slow, and if you're like me, it can lead to a lot of inaccuracies. The easiest and fastest way to index documents is to use data located in another application or line of business application to expedite or speed up our indexing process. In this example, I can type in the purchase order number off of this invoice and go back into a line of business application and grab the associated data values to fill in my index fields. When I click the auto populate button, you'll see that Content360 has gone into a line of business application. It's grabbed the purchase order number, the supplier invoice number, and other data relevant to this document. The indexing process can then be completed with a single click of a button. This greatly speeds up the indexing process, and it assures data consistency between my line of business application and the content values located inside of Content360. While scanning is one of the more popular methods of content capture, more and more documents are arriving into our organizations via email than before. Using our Content360 Outlook integration, we can quickly and easily capture this content by either clicking import mail or simply right-clicking on an email with content that I know I want to store inside of Content360. I can select where I want to store the document, also whether or not I want to include the email or just the attachments. Once the documents are loaded, I'm presented with the first page of the attachments. Once again, I could go in and type this information, but more likely than not, we have employee information located in another line of business application. In this example, I can just go in and type my employee ID, click auto populate, we'll fill in all the other index values, and then store these documents into Content360 quickly and easily. So moving on from how we capture content, let's take a look at how in Content360 we can use workflow to perform sophisticated routing and approval options for these documents. The first step in my workflow process could be the receipt of an email that lets me know I have a task inside Content360 which requires my approval. When I click on the link, it takes me directly to the workflow task inside of Content360 workflow. So here's the invoice that requires my approval. When I click on the link, I see the document that's driving the workflow, the invoice which needs my approval. I see all other supporting documents. So in this case, I might have a purchase order or a packing slip, and these documents will help me determine whether I need to approve this invoice or request more information. I also see the steps that are assigned to me. So where can I send this document after I've approved it? Maybe I need to send it to someone for three-way match, or maybe I just want to send it to approval, or maybe I want to send it to problem resolution because I've noticed a discrepancy between the invoice and the packing slip. Once I've selected where I'm going to send this document, I have additional options as to which user I'm expecting to perform the next step on this. And behind the scenes inside workflow, there are timers and notifications going off. So if a document is residing inside of a given queue for more time than we're expecting, we can notify the user to take action, or we can notify someone else if the user is out of town. We also want to make sure that everything that we're doing in each step of this process is being recorded. So all actions are recorded for audit purposes, so you know exactly what happened to which document and for how long at each step in the workflow process. So this concludes our brief introduction to Content360. If you have questions or if you would like more information, please feel free to reach out to us at the information located on your screen or visit us online at www.harvesttg.com. We thank you very much and look forward to speaking with you soon.